a property owner, you're under no obligation to sell your land to a government agency or public body. The counterpart is the law in Ontario provides the power to expropriate land upon government entities and public bodies.
So if there's a highway or a pipeline that's needed to move product or move people, they need to put it through some privately owned land. Expropriation is the process by which the government can take property from a private ownership.
In an ideal scenario, everyone is sort of navigating towards the best possible outcome, and that outcome is prescribed under the legislation as making the owner whole, or to put them in the same position they were prior to the expropriation.
We started Scargall Owen-King because we wanted to have a specialized group of people who had a great deal of depth of experience in dealing with expropriations.
We are probably one of the only firms, if not the only firm, that practices exclusively in expropriation law.
Because we do work for both expropriating authorities and property owners, we see expropriation from both sides.
That provides a very unique perspective and allows them to strategize how best to achieve the most balanced and fair result for all parties in the least amount of time with the least disruption to both the landowner, the people occupying the landowner's property, and achieving a fair compensation to the landowner.
We treat all our clients in the same in that we want the best outcome for them, but when you're dealing with, say, an expropriated homeowner client, there is a closeness there because you can relate with them and what they're going through. When we're acting for municipalities, you have this dilemma imposed upon you as an expropriating authority or as counsel to an expropriating authority, that dilemma being that you have to take property away from someone. You are nonetheless trying to minimize the impact on that person while enhancing as much as possible the public good. Because let's not forget why we are expropriating. I mean, oftentimes we're expropriating for the construction of roads, and those projects are required to enhance road safety. Sometimes we need to expropriate for a fire station, a police station, a paramedic station. So these are all things that are required in the community.
For the vast majority of people impacted by expropriation, they've never heard of expropriation before.
They come to us with a high degree of stress and fear and anxiety.
We make it a point to let all of our clients know that we will be there for them.
We sit down with them in their homes or their place of business, learn, appreciate, and understand how they're using the property.
Each particular situation is unique. We make a habit of going out and seeing every expropriated landowner on their site so that we get a better understanding of what the issues are they're facing.
We want to see the expropriated property as soon as possible in whatever state it is. Oftentimes we show up and people say, "Are you sure you want to walk in the field with those nice shoes and that suit?" And the answer is always absolutely. We have to see it for ourselves. The shoes can be clean. Don't worry about the suit. This is just how we dress for work.
We were expropriated by the MTO for some highway work, and we didn't know really who to contact, so we asked around to a few neighbors, and one neighbor recommended that we call Matt and Paul. We made an appointment, I think, for a week or so later, and out they came.
What we were impressed with was they sort of just came in and sat around our kitchen table and had a discussion with us that was sort of at our level to understand what was going on.
We worked with them to get a full idea of what the impacts were and ultimately position them to be successful in asserting their claims for compensation. An early message to someone facing expropriation for the first time is have confidence. You're not the first person to be expropriated. Expropriation happens all the time, and we know the process. We know the steps that have to be followed. We know how to assert your claims, and will be with you through that process to the end.
We're going to make sure that everything is okay for you, that your rights are protected, and that you are fairly compensated for this loss of property or as a result of this expropriation. And then at the end, I'll always kind of joke and say back to them, remember at the beginning how stressed you were, but I said everything would be okay? And then by then, we've helped them find a nice, beautiful relocation property. We've assisted them in reaching fair compensation, and they're very happy to be moving on with their lives and with the assistance that we're able to give them.